Now, so I said I'd just do a video here on the SSC Tuatara event, and this is more so just for people who aren't fully aware on some of the bits and pieces in the background of this one. And say, yeah, you could be possibly coming up on the number of conditions to actually get the keys for it. Now I'll give a run through the stages as well, and most of them are fairly easy enough to do, the conditions and such. There's just a couple of ones which kind of are, yeah, a little bit on the tricky side. The only thing about it is the packs become available from the shop once you get to 150 conditions. Now, and on 150 conditions, you'll be able to get access to these packs in the shop. Now, the only thing is, like, it's really, really easy to miss the fact that that car not only needs to be, like, yeah, starred up and such with packs, but also the fact that it needs a key, much the same as the Grand Prix cars do. So, if you were to do all this event, get to 150 conditions, and then start to, like, star up this car, yeah, you could end up in a scenario where you have the car at 4 stars or so because you spend a lot of tokens on it, but you don't actually have a key, and as such it's impossible to use outside of the special event. So, like, yeah, you'll notice the fact that stage 2, stage 4, stage 6, they all give you access to the car, and it's quite easy to miss, like I said, the fact that this one needs a key, because yeah, obviously when you come in here it's a free try, but if you see up on the actual blueprint icon, yup, there's a key on that. Where can you get the key? Key is only available during exclusive special events. Don't miss it. So in other words, if you miss the key here, yeah, when this event is over, you're not getting it. Now, where can you get that key? Because there isn't a Grand Prix for this one. So there's 2 ways to get this key. One of them is to complete this special event, and I don't mean to complete the special event by getting, like, all the way to the final stage and unlocking it here on stage 20 or so. No, this one is complete by 100%ing this special event. So you need to get all 500 out of 500 conditions for it. So just be incredibly careful with this. Straight off the mark, the easiest, most guaranteed, only guaranteed way of getting the car unlocked is by getting the 500 conditions, and for that you obviously need to have a lot of things lined up. So you would need to have the Bailey blade from the previous special event at, I believe it is 3 stars, or it was at least on global. You also need the Trian Nemesis to be unlocked, and I think it's at the same rate, and all of the cars from the like that series of events in the dailies. So yeah, you've got the Bailey blade on stage 19, the Trian Nemesis stage 17, the Stingray, which is required, absolutely requirement for this. So that Stingray, the way you get it is through the Legend Pass. If you don't have the Legend Pass, you cannot get the Tuatara by getting the key from the actual conditions. So if you haven't bought the Legend Pass, getting a guaranteed key for this one is completely out for you. There's the Corvette, which I believe that's a free try at least of that Corvette, yeah, because that is the D-Class Corvette from the second Grand Prix, which will be coming up in the next, probably start off this weekend, I would think. Yeah, that one's not too bad at least, because that's, I believe that's a free try, so you should be able to get away without winning that. Yeah, you have the GT2, which is, it's regulated to max. I'm not 100% if that's also a free try. It may be. This is what I'm unsure about. The Ford that's included on this stage, it's a car regulated to max. It doesn't seem to need the key on that, so that's most likely a free trial of that as well. Not 100% certain. But then you have, yeah, say your Bailey blade on stage 9, again the Trian Nemesis and the Force 1 VLF, as well as the, yeah, Cadillac CN Concept and the Beast X. Now those cars are all pretty cool except for this one, but you can get those from the daily string of events that goes on, like it has gone on since the game launched. So if you have those cars and you have them tuned up like a significant amount, like you need to have your Trian Nemesis ready to complete stage 17's requirements, which needs 3,700 rank on the Trian Nemesis. So to get it over 3,700 rank, you need that car to be at 3 stars. Yeah, and like fully tuned up to that 3 stars. 3 stars maximum is 3729. And yeah, like again, it is just going to be a case of if you don't have this one, you're not getting the key from conditions. The Stingray is an absolute requirement, so like you need to have that car to be able to play that stage for it. Now, the other way of getting the key, in the actual shop on Global Edition, you did have these card packs originally, which is the ones for 90 tokens, and they've got the Tuatara blueprints inside their 10% feature drop rate, the same as pretty much any other special event car. But yeah, at a point during that event, what happened was these different packs became available, and this is the pack which has a key chance inside there. Now, that's a chance, and the drop rate on it is completely random. Obviously, some people got that in like a handful of unlocks, so you know, you're talking about 6,000 tokens if you want to get like 5 sets of that. Other people got absolutely nothing from spending over 10,000 tokens. I'll leave a link in the description if you haven't seen it already. There's a video of a guy opening 15k tokens. He stars up the car multiple times during that pack opening, but doesn't get the key. So yeah, those 15,000 tokens or so used in that video are completely and utterly wasted. Like the 4-star or so Tuatara that comes out of it at the end of this special event is just left there to gather cobwebs, because without the key it can't be used. So I said I'd just give a run through that aspect of this special event, just to know the fact that yeah, if you haven't got the set of cars of the Force, the CN, the Trian Nemesis and the Bailey Blade, you will not be able to get the condition key from this event. The only other way to get it is with that pack that's up there, which is not on the Switch available just yet, I believe. But yeah, you can see the fact instead of being 900 tokens, those 10 packs are also 1,200. So yeah, you have the blueprint chance inside them, but you also have the tiny chance of getting the key that way. And like, yeah, if you were to miss out on the 500 conditions, realistically I would advise strongly against this, because obviously you could get lucky and get it on 1,200 tokens, and you'll hear a lot of people saying that they do. What you won't hear generally is people talking in chat of, oh, I spent 6,000 on these and I got nothing. Because yeah, it's like people are far less likely to brag about losing loads of tokens. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you see lots of people bragging, just remember that those who lose big will not be bragging about how they lost big. Now, so I said I'd give a blast through some of the actual stages then, and yeah, this airdrop stage, you need 5 knockdowns, which is normally would be tough enough, but on this track they've added a load of really aggressive cop car AI, and you need 135 time. Now, I've done this one a bunch of times, just farming out those knockdowns just for the sake of conditions, but said I'll give a run for the 135 and also soak up the 5KDs. I'm sure if you have the cars for these, most of these days getting the time is probably going to be pretty trivial, but just in case anyone's having any issues in the slightest, I said I'll include my race stages as well in this and farm out some of the actual blueprints. You can tag one of the AIs nearly every time straight away at the start, just while you're coming down here, and I mean that's 2 knockdowns already. Normally, oh, there's number 3. Normally a 5KD challenge in a race could be quite difficult, but here, because of the AI's tendency to get in your way, that's number 4, and the addition of, oh, what was that red graphic? But because of the addition of the cop AI as well in this one, it really isn't going to be that hard, I think, to pull out 5 KDs on any attempted run there. So that's the 5th one, because yeah, they do count the cop KDs as well as the other AI racers that you're playing against. But like I said, I'm gunning for time. What? There goes KD number 6. I'm gunning for time more so than actual KDs, just to grab myself some SSC blueprints on this. Yeah, as long as you're just kind of like staying kind of in control of the cop AI and the other racer AI, realistically, the times on these, like most of these special events now, do come down to kind of more, like I said, have the car rather than actually needing to get like a really fast time. Now obviously that's a golden beast, but that's still 4 seconds to spare and getting knocked all over the place by the cop AI throughout that stage. But 1, 2, 3, and this one needs to be run a couple more times for the last of the blueprints as well to be farmed from that. So I'll come back in here, blast this one out a couple of times. Now this one, it's no wreck, stunts of 15 and win the race, and this is the first free try of the SSC. It is at 1 star for this one, and you can use this to tune it up as you go through each one of the days. So I've just been applying 1 tune up and 1 import part to mine on each one of those days, but not, yeah, it doesn't need to be tuned up to max definitely for these things. It's just no wreck, 15 stunts, and it's through, yeah, Urban Exodus. The no wreck is obviously like a small bit on the risky side with the AI being as aggressive as they are. One thing about them though is if they push you off the track and you do that thing where like you go slightly over the edge of the track and you just immediately respawn on the track, you can still actually get the no wreck condition ticked off for that. It doesn't need to like be no reset. It's just a case of obviously you can't have it where you're crashing and smashing directly into a wall. I want to get my 15 stunts as well, so 316 where you can. One kind of handy-ish thing with the AI being as aggressive as it is, stunts in A9 Legends includes KDing other racers, including AI. So every single time an AI car bumps into your car there in a twice nitro state, that's gonna count as one of your 15 stunts, because every single KD is a stunt in this game. So it's handy enough when you've got 15 and really aggressive AI. Just have to be careful coming down here not to get like shunted by the AI like that. They will tap into you all the time near ramps and nitro bottles, but just being careful not to get shunted into the pillars on that bridge. There's another stunt, and by stunt I mean smashing that guy's car up. But this is one definitely where you'll get probably 15 KDs nearly even, because of just how aggressive the AI is. If you want to try and keep them away so that you can get the no wreck bonus, you will end up like just slamming and smashing a few of those just by being close to them. Now around the 145 mark should be a safe enough time for this, for the AI to drop away at the end. But 144, that'll win the race, and no wreck, 15 stunts, win the race. Happy days. And 145 reputation points for doing it, as well as 16k or 6k, sorry. Let's see, these packs do have a chance to give Tuatara blueprints. Nice. So like you can get some blueprints from those, but they're probably mostly fixed, I would think. Again, with these days, say like this one needs to be run 15 times, each run of that taking 2 tickets. So I mean, you're talking about a couple of refills there of tickets just to be able to farm these ones out fully during the day. Stage 3 in the woeful Cadillac CN concept. This is a car that just does not handle turning very well at all, and it's also on a Cairo variant, which can crash sometimes if you leave the game on the results screen at the end, because it's that new layout of Cairo. But we need 5 knockdowns, which are very easy again because of that incredible aggressive AI, and a 1:15 time. My Cadillac is again golded. I have the majority of these event cars golded, just from doing that every single week, every time it comes around, because yeah, these cars, they're very good free-to-play cars, but also it's kind of like one of the ways that you can get some pretty cool blueprints every single week. So yeah, if you're not even in line for getting the SSC Tuatara, I can't recommend enough making sure that you actually go out of your way to do those actually like the daily quests, because the Trian Nemesis that comes as a result at the end of that is really a fantastic S-Class car. Like outside of any of the other stuff that you have to pay for, it's probably one of the fastest. It would be definitely the fastest free-to-play car that you'll be able to get your hands on. Now, like I said, this is odd layout here of Cairo. It's the one that came in with the last patch, but yeah, it's not too bad. Again, just as long as you can kind of like stay up ahead of the cops and stuff in this. Now, it's not looking likely that I'll get the 5 AI KDs, but I am just gunning for the time more, so you can always just come back in here and sacrifice runs to just spend ages KDing the actual cops, and you can get your 5 that way. But I just wanted to punch out one run for the time, and yeah, 109. Yeah, 109.9. That's, trying to think how far ahead that is. 190. Oh, yeah. So 5 seconds to spare with that one, and I need to come back in here anyway 2 more times to run it for the of those. And yeah, I've got 5 more runs to do with the 5 knockdowns. Again, just like I would always kind of recommend to players, try and separate out the goals if the race isn't too easy, but if you're gunning for a time, don't like fall back too far just trying for knockdowns, especially when it's just a case of like the time needs to be run 3 times. Farm out those blueprints that way, and then come back in here and yeah, get the knockdowns in separate runs. You can see also, by the way, the final stop screen on this event is completely messed up. Like you can see the shadows of the AI driving around the place on this track every now and again, and yeah, quite a lot of times, oh, there goes the cars. Quite a lot of the times I find that on this screen the game can just crash, so definitely don't spend too long hanging about this on. Oh, you can see cops chasing after the AI as they drive around. But some extra blueprints, yeah, number 9, 10 and 11. And yeah, I've got, like I said, another couple of runs to come back in here and farm this one out for the knockdowns and the blueprints. But of course, like, the special event needs to be run multiple times anyway to get the 5 tokens per day. So it's not the worst thing to not be 100% on top of this SSC event, as it'll be around the place for the next 2 weeks as I'm making this video. Now, stage 4 though, really nightmare kind of difficult stage, just because of the fact that like no wrecking, perfect runs and win the race. It may well not be possible to get all 3 of these conditions in a single race. Now, I've actually had it on certain attempts where I might wreck, where other runs where I get grinded against the wall too much, and yeah, obviously 2 of that happening where I didn't win the race. And it just comes down to how incredibly aggressive the AI is on this stage. They really are a nightmare. Now, you'll get 1 perfect run almost certainly at the start of the race, as long as you just go straight down the bridge. You can get a second one if you're really careful before you start going into the tunnel areas, and you will most likely try and get your 3rd perfect run in the end of the stage. But not getting a wreck is just, yeah, that can be complete luck on this. I will say though, I would just focus on do everything you can to win the race, because that's the one that you need to do 15 times. So like, because you need to do that more times than the rest, just see how many times you can actually do that. But like I said, you'll get 1 perfect run here, and then the next one, try and avoid the edges as you're coming down here, and it's about 12. Wah! Already, no. So the AI has grinded me against the wall. So like, if I can get a perfect run, I will be happy. If I can only get the win, that'll be fine too. It can be an idea, by the way, when the cops start to like really build up around you, to fire off a 360 and yeah, try and clear them out, because they will build up more and more as the race progresses if you kind of leave them to their own devices. Just try and see if I can get back into the winning spot. That's the real like challenge that I've been trying. Now here you might get pushed over that railing sometimes by the cops, but as long as you don't just explode against it, it'll still count as an actual not wrecking. It's only when you explode against the railing that's when you'll wreck. Got another perfect run there, but I think that's probably just 2 perfect runs. Oh, no, weirdly enough, that was a 3rd perfect run and a win as well, but whoa, that race, it's so not fun. On the point where I was getting grinded up against the wall there, you can actually get pushed over that and you'll do that thing where your car instantly resets. If that happens, that does count as not wrecking. So it's perfectly fine if you're gunning for the no wrecks and that happens. The wreck is just when the car like literally explodes into pieces. But oh, that is not an easy stage in the slightest. And if you've got to break these down and do perfect runs by using touch drive or no wreck by just being incredibly careful. But what I would probably do to like save tickets the most is just focus on win the race and then just get the other ones as they come. So like I've got 10 more times where I need to win this race, and I assume that during those 10 races I'll get 3 perfect runs in some and no wrecks in another one. So yeah, focus on that, and the other 2 should come along the way as well with it. Now, taking a look at stage 5, in this is the Force 1 VLF, and this is the first track where you will immediately run into the star-gated conditions. So you've got like 5-star requirement here on the Force 1 VLF. If you do not have this at 5 stars, if you just have 4, when you get to this, like there's 2 conditions which are out, so that would leave you with the maximum. If you had everything else, your Bailey Blade, your Stingray, the Legend Pass, all the other cars throughout this, if you're just missing this thing, you can only get 498 conditions from this race because you'll miss these 2 at the end. And yeah, that's the guaranteed key for the SSC Tuatara gone. So like then you're relying on your packs that are 1,200 tokens that I was looking at. So like this is one day where, yeah, if you get as far as here even, you'll see you just are completely out of luck with this one. Now, you also need 5 knockdowns on this race, as well as, like I said, yeah, a 141 time. Force 1 VLF is, yeah, that's an amazing A-class car, though. And this is one of the things where I'm always saying is, like, say, the Tryon as a free-to-play car at an S-class, that's fantastic. The Force 1 VLF as a free-to-play player, I can't recommend enough. Just, like, if you can't do these special event things because you're missing these cars, that's kind of sucky, but you know, at the same time, Force 1 VLF is an amazing car that you can grind out every single week for. You don't need to have the Legend Pass for it or anything. You can just do races for this thing. And yeah, my one of these is golded and it's amazing. I will like happily use this in some of the Platinum League multiplayer one. Like this thing is just an absolute dream car. Now, I'm just focusing on the time more so than the actual 5 knockdown requirement here, because yeah, like it's the blueprints that I want, and yeah, just you can get those 5 knockdowns by coming in here and driving nice and slowly, unlike my dude outside my flat. But yeah, this is just like a really cool version of the Shanghai course. But yeah, like it's an absolutely perfect track for blasting out the VLF, because yeah, it loves those long straights. And if you see the top speed of this car for, again, a free to play A-class car, like it really is just insane that it's, yeah, what's that, 239 miles per hour? Like that does put a handful of the S-class cars to shame, especially all the free to play guys at the start. Maybe with the exception of the Lycan Hypersport, possibly, but definitely the FFXK, the Centenario, and even my boy, the McLaren Senna, all get embarrassed by this thing's top speed as an A-class. Skid around here. Go away, cops. Hopefully that was knockdown number 5, but there's the 141 done with 6 seconds to spare, 5.5 seconds to spare. And did I get, no, didn't get the knockdowns, but like I said, I can come back in here and grind out those conditions on any of the other days. That's perfectly fine. It's just a case of, I said I'd do a run of the times more so than the other conditions. Like there's so many AI there at the start, and all the cops on that one. Definitely going back in here and getting 5 KDs is not going to be a problem really. Now, and that brings us all the way up then to 100 conditions, which is today's stage. So we've got, let's see, no wreck, perfect nitros, which is easy enough. Let's just put the car into that blue nitro state and take it out. So can do that one fast and off on most of these things. But again, 15 times of win the race. So you want to focus on the win the race. And again, the no wreck is going to be the pain here, because this one's going to have cops on it for sure. And like, yeah, they're not a real big fan of letting you get that no wreck thing. So just do your best to win the race. You'll get like probably maybe 5 races where you don't get that. 5 perfect nitros is an easy enough task to get. Even when you're missing some of the nitro stat, it's not too bad. Leaps and bounds, that was the qualification stage, I believe, for the yeah, one of the Grand Prix that passed recently. It's a cool enough stage, but yeah, definitely it's not too bad for not wrecking, because it's mostly just straight. But at the same time, yeah, you add AI into any track and the chances of yeah, getting a wreck go up substantially. As soon as I get the car kind of straightened up here, oh yeah, perfect entrance. And again, so that's 3 of those complete already, just from that first little bit of slipstream there from the AI. And yeah, indeed, there's our cop buddies who are in to help me get that no wreck. Shoot. Let's see, there's perfect nitro number 4 and number 5 complete. So yeah, that's that condition done at least. No wreck then is just, yeah, like I say, trying to avoid my walls, go away cops. So annoying in these events. Just gonna skip left here and go up and over. Hopefully I'll leave these cops behind a small bit by going up on this route. I'm just gonna stay up top as well, because yeah, there is obviously multiple ways to go along this bridge, but if the cops spawn on the left and right hand side, I won't be able to actually get up to those upper layers where I am. Ah, there's one. But yeah, wow, that shunt. No, this left right turn here is going to be a nightmare with like cops around the place, because they're going to just completely crash into the side of the car every single time. Oh, and that one's just trying to cost me the win race as well, which is nice. No, you don't. Oh, absolute pain. Oh, I just noticed as well, they're using the Batista as the enemy AI in these. That's great. The second drive syndicate car that we didn't get to use. Brilliant stuff. Oh well, but yeah, there's finish race, no wreck, perfect nitros, and win the race. Just barely, but still. Yeah, a win's a win, don't question it. But yeah, you might need to get a bit like kind of aggressive on these ones to get the AI away. And I would say just focus on win the race more so than the no wreck thing, because if I had gone straight there and not like thumped into that AI, I would have got a no wreck for sure, but I would have lost the race because he was just going to zip straight past me. So yeah, win above all else, and then yeah, the other ones you only need to do 5 less times than the win race. So definitely they're less of a priority. Looking ahead to tomorrow then, and yeah, I need a few more conditions from this, and stage 7 needs the 2-star Tryon Nemesis. So that's not too bad for a few players. You might have that, but just keep in mind the fact that like, yeah, the painful ones here are going to be stage 9, which needs a 2-star Bailey Blade. And yeah, say as you go up through them, you're going to need the 3-star Tryon for the stage 17, where it needs it at 3,700 rating, and then stage 19 requires the Bailey Blade to be at 3,900 rating, which is indeed the 3-star rating from that. So like that is going to be the pathway to the 500 conditions for myself. If you're missing those, like I said, that's the only real way of getting that is through those the key packs, which is at the end of this. And oh, I got another couple of blueprints coming in this phase also. That brings me up to 20 out of 40 for this, so not too bad. But yeah, this is one special event that for me is kind of a bit of a I think, easy enough one to work my way through. Get the decal at 490 and the key at 500, but the main cost was again that the Bailey blade at 3 stars, which was a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, that was like a kind of a known requirement for this special event from Global, and it seems to still be playing out the same. But yeah, this SSC event is one that should work out pretty well for me, because my garage has worked out, I think, to be ready for this event. If Gameloft changes things around though, yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath on this one working out perfectly. And I just wanted to make a video before people start buying stuff, because obviously there is a lot of DLCs in the shop that are available and they cost an awful lot. So yeah, if you start to look at, say, buying things like the Beast X and the Cadillac CN concept inside here already, and if they add the Force One VLF and possibly the Trion Nemesis into this, their costs are going to be way higher than these first two because of the rarity that those cars have. So like, if you are still missing the Legend Pass though and the Bailey Blade at 3 stars, like, this SSC is completely off the table for you. Like, the only way then realistically that you're going to be getting it is by going with those 1200 token packs, and I would never ever recommend going for one of those. If you are in that scenario, I would recommend just saving your tokens, saving up, skip over this one, and then save up for the British event that's going up, and that one needs like the Aston Martin Vantage and a bunch of other fairly common enough. Basically any car that's got a British make on there will be needed for that. But yeah, if you're looking for advice on that one, give a shout down in the comments on it. Otherwise, when it comes to this one, yeah, I'll be doing some more videos as this one progresses, and obviously my pack opening, because I'm going to be wanting to star up this thing quite a bit as soon as I can get my hands on that key, once I'm sure I can get the key. But yeah, as always guys, if you watch these videos, really appreciate it. Sub button up there over my head, and there's other videos for me here and here. And yeah, as always guys, drive safe.